And it was not 3 hours later at the barbecue that I got two sales back to back.
It was crazy because you were someone who received the coaching and went at it. So I don't know how many listings you had at the beginning
17.
you had 17?
Yeah.
Today Kara has 77. So she went into work. Tell us what happened.
38 listings up within the first 5 days. I had to get them up.
Let's go.
Yeah, they were all
Oh my goodness, my friends. I am so excited to have Kara Thompson, a longtime client of mine and Passive Earner Society, here on the show today because, y'all, she has one of the best stories. I am so excited to dig in today. She was 5th place winner in our Cha-Ching Challenge. We had an amazing coaching experience, and I have so much to share with you and hear from Kara on today's episode. So, Kara, welcome. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. Tell everyone, for anyone that doesn't know Kara, what you do, what you sell. Tell us everything.
So I have been a lifetime crafter. I have always been if you name it, I've tried it. The only thing I need to still try is crochet and knitting. I'll get there eventually. But I started out just dabbling everywhere. I've been in real estate my entire life. Since I was 19, it was my very first job, and I'm still there. I'm almost 50. And being able to connect with people through their pets, because I am addicted to my pets. I have 4 rescue cats and 2 corgis. And so being able to connect with people through their pets, I started making things for local craft fairs. And then that included pet ornaments that I was hand making, as well as a bunch of other things, bookmarks and stuff. But then I started watching, more of your Cricut tutorials, and I think I've followed you since I found you in 2015. So 10 years, almost 11 years.
Amazing.
And when I joined Passive Earner Society last year, it's been a year now, I really wanted to dig into something that was going to be successful because I had an Etsy shop that had been going for about a year and a half. I was selling Hobbit dressed dogs on journals and mugs. People were buying them. It was great, but it was a onesie twosie here and there.
Yeah.
So I went through the first 4 or 5 months, and I really decided that if I was going to get serious about this, I had to dive into the one-on-one coaching. So I signed up for coaching, and that is when I started dabbling more into what can I do. As far as a niche, I had pet, and I wanted to be that pet gift shop, but that seemed too generic and things weren't really clicking. So then when I met my coach, Chelsea, she's the most amazing person ever. She's just an amazing human, not just an amazing coach, but she's an amazing coach. But we started to kind of nail down what I wanted to do. And I was really afraid, I don't want to say afraid in my success, but I was standing in my own way of being able to really hone in on something, and I was just ready to throw it all away. Just say, this isn't working. I've sold 7 things on Etsy. I'm out of here. And maybe I should just go back to hand making products. And then we got to the time when we were going to retreat and still working with Chelsea. I'd had another sale in July. I'd sold something in August, but it wasn't happening. Once I got to retreat though, and I got to meet everybody, I found out through mindset training with you. I mean, I think that you've probably been all my years in real estate, all they do is teach you mindset. But I think one of the things that you've done for me is be my mindset coach, like
so
crazy. That I was still standing in my own way. I was having negative thoughts I didn't realize were negative thoughts. And I totally believe in manifestation. So I know that keeping those thoughts in my head was what was stopping me from being successful. So we dug in really hard, and I had not wanted to do memorial because the idea of anything happening to my dogs, oh my gosh, my honeybee is my soulmate. So just the idea of memorial made me sad just thinking about it. But we really decided that there was a big audience for memorial ornaments and ornaments in general with the upcoming season.
Yeah.
So on the last day of retreat, after being able to meet everybody, and it was wonderful because I've met some of my best friends now, we dug into the idea of doing the memorial ornaments. And it was not 3 hours later at the barbecue that I got 2 sales back to back.
It was crazy.
It was
And what
crazy.
I want for everyone to be here and like really like grasp, I mean, it's hard to grasp in a short interview like this, but I just want you to imagine like maybe someone watching. Kara came to retreat ready to break up with her niche, thinking all the reasons why it wasn't for her. And the coaching was, yes, it was mindset first, but and why I think our process is so different is it's always mindset first, but solid strategy second. Like, we have to make sure that our minds and our thoughts align first and foremost so that when we get to the action and get to the strategy, we're ready to receive it and like let it flow.
Yes.
And what I think was so funny about your success, I mean, being one of our top 5 from the December sales, like, oh my gosh, like seeing your name on the leaderboard week after week, like all month long, was so fun for me because you were someone who received the coaching and went at it. So what I really, want to hear more about is like just that same day of receiving the coaching, you got like what I would call the validation, right? Like you
Yes,
got
absolutely.
validated.
And it was more than that, though. It was more like, I mean, I'm literally sitting in a living room of this beautiful house with people
Stunning.
that I've only met 2 days ago. And I believe there were tears streaming down my face at the time because I had just had that moment of, I am really the one that's standing in my own way, where I've got you talking to me directly about what this niche looks like. Lauren on the, like, literally 4 feet away from you, trying to just go, it's okay, honey, we love you.
Yeah.
And then we had Ashley over there with her computer pulling numbers. I had all
Yeah.
three of you in this support moment that was showing me not just you can do this, but this is why you can do this.
Yes.
Because there is an audience for it. These are your keywords. That's when I learned how to use Everbee. That's when I learned how to do keyword searching straight into Etsy. It was
So
like the
good.
biggest, I hate that aha moment thing, but it was the biggest aha moment I've ever
We're
had.
here for your aha moment. And what was so great, like just being in the room as a spectator and like just knowing like for you to have that shift, everyone else in the room was able to receive it in their own niche and able to like, grasp the skills and the tools and just like really see it because a lot of times we live our life out of feelings and we let our feelings decide like everything. But sometimes our feeling, Kara wanted to break up with her niece. She was like, no, there's too many people selling pet ornaments. Nobody will buy mine. Nobody needs my memorial. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, that's why like the mindset, it will help change the thought. It will help change the feeling to really create massive amounts of action and results. So tell us, once you got home, you went to work. Because I
I
don't know
went
how
to
many
work
listings,
immediately.
I don't know how many listings you had at the beginning
17.
of the, you had 17?
Yeah.
Today, Kara has 77. So she like went into work. Tell us what happened day after a retreat. You get home after you're settled.
I
Tell
was
us the game plan.
absolutely motivated to get out there and see. So the first 3 sales I had, which were within 24 hours of that night, I had two, and then the very next morning I had another one at the airport.
So good.
And I was like, okay, well, this is clearly the one that's going to sell, so I need to make some more. And what it was, and what I realized at that time was, it wasn't just that there was saturation in the pet ornament space, because yeah, there was a lot of Etsy gurus out there that were telling people, oh, everybody go out and make pet ornaments. That's the thing. Is that people were ordering my pet ornaments because of my artwork and
Yeah.
because of what I put on them. So it was my style that people were purchasing, not just my ornament. And so I sat down and I got 38 listings up within the first 5 days. I had to get them up.
Let's go.
Yeah, they were all Christmas, and then they started coming in. Just actually, it was people from our group, people from Facebook, people seeing what I was doing that were like, "Hey, can you do my dog? Hey, can you do my dog?" And so while I was making Christmas ornaments, of watercolor dogs, I was also taking advice from people who are also obsessed with their dogs on, you should do this one, you should do this one. And
Yeah.
it's funny because somebody in our passive earner group said, you should do Scotty dogs. My Scotty dog was my second biggest seller this winter. And so
Oh,
it was fantastic.
so
But yeah,
amazing.
so doing custom Christmas ornaments for people became my full-time job for
Yeah.
3 months. For the rest of
Amazing.
October, November, December, until the last day of Christmas, like I was still,
So
I think on
awesome.
Christmas Eve, I was still making ornaments for people.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic. And then I got to see really what it was that people were looking for.
Yes. So within that, you created hundreds of cells from your ornaments. What would you have told yourself, back in early October when you were doubting your niche, doubting if you could make thousands of dollars selling memorial ornaments, all the things? What would you tell yourself looking back?
It was about mindset and research. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to switch my mindset. I also didn't know I can watch all day long, but I think until you're with somebody who's been an expert in this type of thing, you don't know that you're going to need to use this resource, and this resource. And you're going to find, if you just dig a little deeper, that you don't have to give up. You just have to put it all into play. There needed to be an action plan, and I didn't have
Yeah.
one. I was
Yeah.
frustrated on levels of frustration, and I wasn't allowing myself to see any further than that.
Yeah.
And so having that support system, not just the support system of you guys as leadership, but coaching, the people in our group exchanging ideas, like that is really one of the things that I laugh and say that I stay in passive earners because I need the one-on-one coaching, and I need to be able to see you every 6 months so you can slap me upside the head and tell me I'm doing good. And really, it's a matter of I need that accountability, and I need
Yeah.
my leadership, and I need my people, because that is what is going to hold my brain where it's supposed to be, in a mindset of success.
Yeah.
I know I can do this. And if I would have been able to implement that earlier, I would have been successful earlier.
Yeah.
I just wasn't there yet. But on top of that, I mean, I think that this mindset shift not only reflected in my growing Etsy business, but it was able to be reflected in my life as well, which is really nice.
Tell
Because
us. Wait, tell us more.
so I had my most successful real estate career, like year in my whole career. I have been in real estate
Unbelievable.
since 1999, and
Ugh.
I had my most successful year this year,
Yeah.
of sales and listings, and being able to actually make things for people now that are my clients. As their gifts at closing table, I'm ending up giving them watercolor art of their dogs.
Oh, it's so
So it's kind
special.
of fun, and I
And
didn't
I mean, these are
integrate.
things, yeah, these are things that I love to hear. I love to see, because when you work on your mindset, you're creating your life, you're creating your results in your Etsy shop. It flows over to your real estate. I mean, to have both your most successful year on Etsy, serving hundreds of clients, having your highest earning year in real estate, to see the tandem there, I think there's something so special. Because what I hear is like winning is a lot easier. Like it might be more work, but winning is a lot easier than taking L's and like still feeling like you're stuck in the mud, like just revving your engine and not going anywhere. But once you start having the momentum, for those out there right now watching, struggling to get consistent sales, struggling to believe in the power of Etsy, when it started working for you, how soon were you starting to see consistency in this niche, in your memorial and pet ornaments?
Within a week. Within a week
Dang.
of doing that, I started to see the growth. I had given myself the goal to make $500 by the end of the first month. And so by the end of October, I had done that. Then I
Dang.
upped that goal to make $1,000 by the end of the year. And in November, I made $1,000. So then
Amazing.
I raised that. Now I have not yet met my third goal, my third financial goal, but I'm going to by the end of
Yeah.
first quarter. And that is really, as soon as I got my mind where it needed to be, it took off. I just
Yeah.
went running and I didn't stop. And I can tell you, when it comes to not just people who are wanting to see whether or not they should dip this toe in the middle of December, I started to have some issues come up.
Yeah.
And I was about to just say, I can't do this, y'all. I cannot. But
When
I've
you have
been,
hundreds of orders rolling in, like,
yeah,
and the shipping system is, just
I control the
experiencing the
USPS.
highest demands. Yeah, your providers are overwhelmed, you're overwhelmed, your customers ready to have what's goodness. Like, it's not if, it's definitely when this occurs. So talk to us
Yes.
about when you're in the storm of success. Like, what was that like? Because how
I
many
was
orders you were averaging? I mean, over 50 orders a week.
Yes, yeah, I was. Because I went from having like 20 to having 248, something like that, by the end of
Amazing.
December.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was overwhelmed. And because things were coming back as having issues, I got onto our boards. And I think you told me, like, if I wasn't having success, I wouldn't be having issues. And it
Yeah.
took a minute for that to click because I, again, had to get past that frustration point. But then
Yeah.
I realized, okay, yes, I'm having a successful moment here. I need to take a breath and realize
Yes.
that I have to fix it and I got to keep rolling
Yeah.
because it's really easy to quit when you get frustrated. And it's
And
really easy to quit when
when
you get
we
overwhelmed.
have, when we expect perfection, right? When we expect perfection and you start averaging 50 orders a week or more, and because a lot of it's automated, except the personalization, anything like that, our brain like sees one problem or a couple, and it's like, oh, everything's messed up. Everything's not working. And it's like,
Yep.
wait, this is like less than 10%, less than 5% of people. And like,
Yeah.
listen, we only let great people work with us. Like we bless people out all day. And that's why I can coach everyone in the program, because I know our students are going to stand on the side of what's right and always make sure their customer gets to the finish line. Whether that means a refund, whether that means a reprint, whatever that means, I can never let the success storm like put us out of business or make us
Yep.
like change having support. Because I think, just to be honest, it seemed like you wanted to kind of switch everything that's working and like bring it all in house for you. And I'm like, Kara,
I
there's
did.
no way you can keep up with the demands of your Etsy shop.
No, and you're right. And I did. I went out and bought a sublimation printer. I was like, I'm doing this on the house. I cannot deal with this anymore. And it's
No,
fun. I love sublimating, but no, I cannot keep up with that demand.
no.
And so it's a fun skill to have, and I can back myself up if I need to. But honestly, no,
Yeah.
I just needed to find a new provider and realize
Yes.
that I can't make the United States Postal Service do anything they don't want to do.
That's right. That's right. They're overwhelmed. And if people want to, my favorite thought is like we've had a few people even in our own shop be like, hey, can I rush ship this? And sometimes, if they tell us enough details, like one person just became a foster parent and
Yeah.
we have some foster parent shirts. And I'm like, whatever it costs, like, yes. And like we made the shirt and shipped it to them just because
And I
like
did
we're
that.
so excited.
Yeah.
And you can choose that. I love Etsy because it gives you options.
Yeah.
It gives you the ability to have it passive and to jump in and create like never before. And like
And I can
you
honestly
get
tell
to
you that
decide.
if I was completely passive, I would probably be a little bit bored because that's who I am as a person. I need to be
Yeah.
creating at all times. I love to create things. So I
So
like
I
that
love
mine is
this.
art. Yeah.
Tell us more, just for everyone, because I think you're touching on something that so many people want to learn more about. I love that you get to be involved in the design and the customization. So for those out there that feel like it's all or nothing, like I have to make and be a part of all of it, or I get to be a part of none of it. Tell us about like how it's been for you doing customization and personalization, because that scares people.
It does. It does, honestly. And so what I have found is there's two ways I do mine, which is I have created a set piece of art and it will show a place where people can just put their name in or their dog's name in or the year 2025, whatever it was. Super easy, all done through Etsy. I didn't have to think about it. I just had to go in and press approve and it went through the system. And then there's the people who bought the custom ornaments. So those people would send me a photo, and then I would take that photo into my design program, make it into a piece of artwork, which in my case is watercolor art, make sure it
Yes.
has the correct background that they wanted, and then send them a proof, get an approval, and then get that into the item that they want, which in this case it
Amazing.
was different shaped ornaments.
Yeah.
But I love that because I want to create that. That makes me feel good about the fact that if somebody's dog passed away, or in one of the cases, I had a gentleman who ordered and it hadn't been delivered, and the person was leaving the country. She had just lost her dog. He really needed to get something to her. And so I did do, like, I don't care what it costs. I paid $30 for shipping just to get that thing to him so that he could get it
Amazing.
before she left. And
So
that was
amazing.
just because it was close to my heart. And he explained to me, like, she's just so devastated. I would be devastated. I understand that.
Yeah.
So, yes, so there's parts of it where when people don't want anything on it and they just want the piece of artwork that I created, then it's just done. I'm very lucky that I have all three types of the Etsy shop experience because I can see what works for me and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And I love doing that piece because I get to put myself into that piece a little bit more.
Yes. So
But
tell
the
us,
other
what is your
images I've
plan?
made are all they're
Yeah.
already a piece of me and my art.
Yeah. For 2026, as we go into this new year, like, what is your plan? I love that you've said been part of all three of Etsy. Like, are you going all in on still this one that you get to be a part of? Like, is that where your heart is? Tell us.
I am doing two different things. I am doing Pet Memorial where there is already a custom piece of artwork, and I'm doing several of those now. And then I am also still offering custom on different products. So I'm
Amazing.
doing the ornaments, but I'm also going to do items that people can keep in their cubicle or in their car,
Yeah.
like a luggage tag. And so you still have that option of the artwork with nothing, the artwork with a name, or fully customized to be your pet. And
Heck yeah.
I have even integrated birds now. So
Oh, cool.
somebody asked me to do their lizard next.
Aw. Listen, you're blowing up. This is
Yeah,
so awesome.
I
I
am
mean,
excited about it. Really am.
would you ever have thought that Etsy would have given you this marketplace?
No, not at all. I never even expected that I would sell more than I hear about people all the time. It's not very different from the industry I'm in my other life is that, whatever the percentages of people quit within the first year. And I was there. I was like, this isn't working for me. I'm ready to quit. And mine was right at the 2 year mark because the first year, I can't say that I was serious about it. It was fun.
Right. You're dabbling.
However, it's been kind of interesting to see that now that people are knowing where my shop is and they're getting reminded that I exist, they're buying those first things I put on Etsy, which is those little Hobbit things. So I'm a
Look at
nerd at
that.
heart, and I'm always going to love it when somebody buys my notebook that has a little German Shepherd dressed up like a Hobbit. And so,
I love it.
so yeah, no, I never thought I could. And my next goal is to have Etsy replace my monthly income.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
it will
go.
be. It will be something that I have done by the end of 2026. That is my ultimate goal.
So awesome. Kara, this is amazing. For anyone out there that's debating going in on their Etsy shop, maybe they were you a year ago, what would you end out and tell them?
I would say that you need to have a good team in your corner because if I was still doing this on my own, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Honestly, I've paid for little coaching sessions here and coaching sessions there, but I never had consistent coaching that embodied everything that we do Sadie shows us the pretty little design elements that she does, and I learned new things on Canva I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Lauren's always popping in there with stuff. She's kind of a Renaissance woman, shows everything. And then I've
does.
got Chelsea, who's amazing, and she really looks at what I'm doing, and we do feedback. And this works. I don't like how you did this. Let's change this just a little bit to see if it will get
Yeah.
more attention. There's that. And then you've got the mindset with you. And so every couple of days, I've got somebody in my corner. I don't think I would be able to survive without it in this industry.
So amazing. Kara, thank you so much for being here. You're such an inspiration to everyone in the community. Everyone is going to benefit so much just from hearing your wisdom and where you've been and where you're at and where you're going. I cannot wait to follow up at the end of this year to see everything that you've done. You're an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.